Emily, could you give me a breakdown of the elements of a landing page?
There are a lot of them, but the main things that you want to have is a very clear image at the top that showcases what you do with some text on there that highlights your core service and offering with a call to action. Then also on that page, we want to highlight any testimonials that you have or photos of your venue or anything that really showcases how special you are as a brand. We want to showcase your brand story. And then we like to have a clear next step on that landing page for your clients to take. So generally that is to learn more about your venue, but that could also be to book a call with you. That's dependent on your business and how your sales flow works.
What's up, everyone? Jonathan here with the Venue RX. And on this channel, we, of course, talk to venue owners on our venue owner series, but we also have a entire segment of the show focused on marketing and sales and kind of the professional business services side of this industry and really everything that it takes to run your venue well. And today we have with us Emily Walleman. Thank you so much for being here today, Emily.
Hi, thank you so much for having me. I'm so excited to be talking with you today.
I'm excited to have you. We're going to be talking about Google Ads today, and Google Ads, just ads in general, paid ad traffic. I know it's something that is important to a lot of people as they're thinking about building their venue business. Paid traffic, obviously it's important to have the organic side and, doing the socials and everything on Instagram and TikTok and Pinterest and all the places. But paid ads and driving paid ad traffic is super, super important. And that's what you do, correct?
Yes, exactly. Yeah, Google Ads are a game changer once you kind of take the leap to dabble in, and I'm so excited to be talking about it today.
Very cool. Well, take us back really quick before we just dive in deep on Google Ads. How did you get started doing marketing, paid marketing, I guess really advertising, and how did you get into doing that specifically for the event space?
Yeah, so my college job was working with wedding planning. So I worked in the wedding planning space. And kind of after I graduated with a business degree. I was thinking, okay, where do I go from here? I live in Michigan, so weddings really only happen a few months out of the year. So it wasn't realistic for me, at that time, just starting out to be only working in a career that offers a few months out of the year work opportunities. So I kind of on the side started supporting the wedding planner that I was helping with marketing, although I was pretty green in the space and I didn't know as much as I of course know now. So from there, I ended up going to work for a marketing agency, but I just started out working the front desk there. So I was super green to all of marketing and the marketing strategy, but kind of a funny situation. So I was the receptionist there at the marketing agency. And one day the CEO of the agency, big agency I was working for, came to me, and our lead ads manager had quit that day, walked out from the company. And he said to me, "Can you run ads?" And I said, sure, I'll give it a go. So when the CEO of the company that you're working for comes to you and asks you for something, and you are fresh out of college, you say yes. So I gave it a go and started running ads. The first account I took over had a very large ad budget, multiple six figures. So I was kind of thrown right into the deep end of running ads. But that campaign did super well. We ended up with a 10 ROAS on that campaign, which means for every dollar that the client put in, we made them $10 back, which is phenomenal. So that kind of got me obsessed with learning and running ads. So from there, over the next few years, I just really honed my skills and ran ads for a lot of different clients. And then from there, I decided to go out on my own and start my own agency. And I really missed that wedding world. So I kind of came back to how can I blend the two? And now with my kind of newfound marketing skills and then my love for the wedding world, I decided to offer those skills just for the wonderful people that own wedding businesses that in that community that I love so much.
What a cool kind of full circle moment. You got to, come out of college, have that business degree. It sounds like you did want to be in business or entrepreneurship or some maybe marketing, something like that. Did you kind of have a sense of that early on?
Yeah, definitely. I definitely love the business side. And although I didn't know, a lot of degrees, you learn a specific job, right? But business isn't really like that. So definitely, I feel my path kind of you can see the dots looking backwards, but you don't always see it when you're on the way.
Very true. Yeah, if you're in that moment right now, like hear it from Emily and myself as well. I never thought I'd be doing what I do today with not only the podcast, but venue management and the the association and all sorts of different things. It's crazy how like you look back and you're like, oh yeah, okay, it definitely makes sense. But in the moment you're like, what is happening?
Yeah, definitely. I think it's that Steve Jobs quote that says you can only connect the dots looking backwards, and that just makes more and more sense to me every year in business, it seems.
Absolutely. So I want to do something a little bit different. I've talked to past, professionals who help people with marketing, and I wanted to do something I don't think I've done before, just to kind of help the audience. You mentioned the term ROAS. I wanted to take a little bit of time and ask you, what are some important acronyms or important terms that venue businesses, event businesses need to know when it comes to their marketing?
Okay, sure. So ROAS is one of the standard ones in marketing, and ROAS stands for return on ad spend. And so that is telling you how much you are making back from the ads that you're running. So a big misconception that people have when running ads is that ads cost a lot of money. And while you are technically putting money in the forefront there, you should be making more money back from your ads than you are putting into them. So that's a big one there. Another one that I really like to look at for this space is called EPL, which stands for earning per lead. And this is an acronym that I don't see really anyone in the marketing space talking about, but it makes it so simple to understand how much you're making through your ads. And so how you calculate that is you see how much money you made the prior year, how many leads did you have, and how much money did you make for each of those leads. So instead of looking at how much you made per client, look at how many people reached out to you, inquired about your services, and see how much revenue you made for every person that reached out and inquired about you. Now, when you have a figure, usually it's around $20 to $100, usually like 30 to 50 is the sweet spot. Now you can, when you go to run ads, you can say, okay, I make in revenue, on average, $40 for everyone that reaches out to me. How much can I afford to spend for someone to reach out to me? And it makes it a little bit more tangible to think about your ROAS. It's more of like a dialed in point to see how much am I going to spend on ads, more in a micro sense, instead of needing to wait a long time to see if your ads are bringing you the return that you're looking for. So those are the two that I really look at.
EPL, earnings per lead.
Yes.
Interesting. Okay, so I've heard of like cost of conversion, right? Like you'll see that on the Google dashboard if you've looked at the Google Ads dashboard. I've heard marketers use terms like LTV, right? Lifetime value. Are there other terms that maybe marketers in the classical sense, or people in the advertising space would use that maybe don't necessarily matter as much for people specifically in our industry?
They all have their value. All of these metrics that we look for, they tell us as marketers stories about what is going on with your client lifecycle. So if you think of your traditional sales funnel, at the top you have people looking at your business, and then in the middle you have people inquiring, and at the bottom you have people purchasing at a very basic level. We have different metrics that mean different things that tell us that each of the part of the funnel is working as it should be. So at the very top of your funnel, if you are running ads, you might have your impression share. So what percentage of the time are your ads shown that they could be shown? That doesn't directly correlate to your revenue, but that tells us that our ads are being shown when they need to. So that is a crucial component to the top of our funnel. Kind of mid-funnel, you might want to see what is your cost per lead, what is your cost per click to get to your landing page, what is the conversion rate of your landing page, so how many people that are landing on your landing page are actually reaching out to you. Those are all important metrics. And then, like you were saying, your lifetime value of a customer, that's your LTV. That's really important, so you know how much you are earning for everyone that's coming into your business, so that you can know how much you can spend on them. All these metrics, there's a lot of them, and they all kind of have their own puzzle piece in the equation. If you are getting started, I really like to kind of keep it basic of how much are we spending for everyone that is like reaching out, or how much are we spending for everyone that books with us. But when you do get into the granular level, there are a lot of metrics that we do need to look at, and they're all important.
Totally. So a couple of things I heard through there. There's it sounds like the impressions, which just is kind of like, is this working? And then there's the cost of the click, which is how much is it taking people to actually like click and get in. But then there's cost of conversion, which is converting that person to a lead, not just click on the site.
Yep, exactly.
Okay. I'm tracking with you. So then let's take it one step further. How does the lifetime, like what's the difference between, LTV, lifetime value of a customer, a client? How is that similar or different to the EPL term that you mentioned before, earnings per lead?
So your lifetime value of a customer is going to be more of a long-term number that you will have in your business. So, for example, if someone decides to do their engagement party at your venue, and then they do their wedding at your venue, and then down the road they do their baby shower at your venue, and then down the road they do their retirement party at your venue. That is happening over a 30-year life cycle. So your lifetime value of a customer is going to be the addition of all of those that spend. Your earning per lead, if you have all of that data, that is great to use for your earning per lead. It's essentially like your LTV divided out by your leads. However, a lot of the time we don't have that data like so far out. So that's when we can kind of look at the past year and pull that data together and go from there. And then as we're in business longer, we will see those numbers shift as we get more data.
That makes sense. Let's pivot just a little bit and talk about reporting, because I can imagine someone listening to this right now. And I mean, I'm even thinking this. I've got going on 9 venues. We use a paid ad strategy. We have someone who's running the leads. But when I look at the leads dashboard, sometimes the Google ads, I'm like, what are all these numbers? And then a lot of times the CRM that we use or we have used in the past doesn't necessarily help inform the decisions and kind of get us to that EPL number. So when we're looking at earnings per lead, are we trying to compare? I guess my question is, how do we know that there's an association between the ad that's run and the lead that came in, for sure?
That is going to be kind of in like your back-end tagging manager and those like analytics pieces. So if you have like a Google Tag Manager, that will tell you those people are coming through. That will let you know this person actually came through Google Ads or this person came organically through your website. That's going to be how you are actually tagging the people and like using your pixel data in that way.
So Google Tag Manager, and then you said data. Pixel is Facebook, correct?
Yes, I use it as, I probably do this. I think it's a little confusing to have like all these different terms. So I kind of think of it as like we're tagging each person on the internet, and usually you will have a Facebook pixel and a Google for whatever site you have. And we're just kind of tracking people as they go around the internet. But you will have like your like Google tag and then your Facebook pixel and all those different ways of tracking who came from where and what action they're taking.
Got it. Okay, that makes sense. Yeah, it's interesting because we can get leads from so many places, right? Mm-hmm. It could be word of mouth. It could be, someone who just lands on the site and then comes back to us a couple months later. So definitely the tagging is important. Are there any tools that you use to help with tracking? I know you mentioned Google Tag Manager, it's a separate platform or dashboard. What could you explain about that?
Yep. So it's its own separate app through Google. There's a little bit of learning curve to it. I will put a little disclaimer out there, but it'll allow you to plug in the different events you have on your website and tell Google what they mean to you and your business.
Understood. This is super cool having this conversation with you because you, in your business Ads Without Agency, you both have a DIY product where you kind of help educate people on how they can do it themselves, but then you also offer done-for-you services, correct?
Yes, that's correct. So some people like to kind of tackle things on their own, and then others like to just be hands-off and have everything taken care of. So I do offer both for whatever type of business owner that you are.
I was going to say with that, sounds like a pretty good track record. $10 in versus every $1 out spent. That sounds like a pretty good experience to have. When the other question, actually, I want to come back around because I realized I didn't ask you something. In a situation like that, or let's say for a venue owner that has an ad account that is doing well, how do you really understand the full representation of the money that's coming in? Because let's say $1 spent equals $1 earned.
Mhm.
It is kind of almost like a gross number, correct? It's before you've taken out your mortgage and your employees and all of that. That's accurate?
Yes. Yep. So usually as marketers, we look at your top line revenue number, like how much you are actually charging for your services at the very base, compared to how much we are spending on ads. And then that's when if you are working with a marketer, you want to just be really transparent about where your profit margins are at, how things flow in your business, because that will be very different to every business owner. A lot of business owners will, for example, write off their personal vehicle through their business through different ways that work for them. That whether that is the best thing for their business or not is not up to the person that is doing your marketing. So that it makes it a little tricky for us to totally use your profit numbers to run your ads, because that's going to be different for each business owner. So that's where you just want to have that open line of communication. And you as a business owner want to have your head wrapped around, what are my profit margins? What really can I spend on my ads? And then communicate that if someone is running your ads for you.
All right. That sounds super important to have that conversation with your accountant, bookkeeper, whoever you're doing the finance side with, and marrying that with the conversation around advertising. From that, I'm kind of linking together. If you, let's say, have a 30% profit margin, you really kind of want to see like a 3-to-1 return at least on ad spend. Well, I guess here's the question. Is there a target return on ad spend that people should be looking for in this industry?
It's a tricky one because, again, every business is so different and your overhead is going to be so different. So it's hard for me to give like a specific number of what would work best for you. A lot of businesses too they do have a higher lifetime value of a customer. So acquiring a customer is very valuable, where maybe the first purchase isn't a big chunk of their lifetime value, right? So you might be willing to pay more upfront to acquire that customer, knowing that you're going to make more on the back end. It really is going to be dependent on your business model, how you make your money, what your profit margins are, how you decide to run your business. It really is going to be different for every business owner.
Okay. That you just saying that really helped connect the dots for me. Cause yeah, it makes sense. Like if you're a venue that does an engagement party, you do the wedding, and then you also do the baby shower, and that at least half of your clients end up coming back. And so the lifetime value is $20,000 for a client versus a business owner that only has, that initial $6,000, $7,000, $8,000, $9,000 sale in the beginning. You can spend more, hypothetically, to acquire the client because you know that they're going to spend more money over the long term.
That's exactly right. Mm-hmm.
Got it. Okay, cool. This is great. So let's kind of move ahead forward. So you do the done for you. You do have the DIY service. Tell me a little bit about done for you. What does that look like? Like, what do you come in and do? If I hire you to run all my ads as a venue owner, what are you doing? What are the conversations? What's the onboarding look like? Give me a little bit of a rundown.
Sure. So the first thing that we do is before we do anything, we have an initial consultation call, and I find out about your business, how much you're bringing in on average per client, kind of what is the basics to your business, like how do you run, what's important to you. And then what I do is I take that and I do research, and then I ensure that if we do decide to run Google Ads, it is going to be profitable for you. Once I do that research, then I come back to you and then I present what I recommend as far as budget, what I recommend as far as strategy. If that sounds like it's in alignment for your business, then we go ahead and we sign a contract and we work together. And then once we start working together, then we will do an onboarding call and I'll learn more about your ideal customer and who you're looking to target even more in depth, more about your brand, where you're looking to go, even more than we did on that first call. And then I'll also build out a landing page for you for your ads. So one little tip here is that if you do decide to tackle ads, I do not recommend running ads just directly to your homepage of your website. We'll want to have a targeted landing page designed specifically for ads. So that will all be built out just for you, done for you. And then we will take the research that we did, start building out your ads, make sure everything looks good for you and that you're comfortable with the language that we're using and that you're excited about how we're presenting you as the business. And then we will launch your ads live. Within a couple of weeks, we will have some data points of what we're looking for if we're maybe wanting to tweak anything. And then within 45 days, we'll be fully optimized and looking to scale if that's something that you want to do, or just keep chugging along, bringing you those leads.
Very cool. Can we sidebar here a second? Emily, could you give me a breakdown of the elements of a landing page for ads?
There are a lot of them, but the main things that you want to have is a very clear image at the top that showcases what you do with some text on there that highlights your core service and offering with a call to action. Then also on that page, we want to highlight any testimonials that you have or any photos of your venue or anything that really showcases how special you are as a brand. We want to showcase your brand story. If you like to showcase you as the owner, we like to have that on there. If you have any accolades, we like to have that on the landing page. And then we like to have a clear next step on that landing page for your clients to take. So generally that is to learn more about your venue, but that could also be to book a call with you. That's dependent on your business and how your sales flow works.
Got it. Okay, cool. That makes sense. So it sounds like that's different from the main website, because the main website you can do a million things on the site. You can learn more, and it sounds like the landing page is more about driving leads directly.
Correct. Yep. So when someone lands on your main website, there are a lot of choices for them to make. And as we know, us as humans, our attention span just shrinks by the day. So we really want to keep people engaged and really give them a clear direction of what we want them to do instead of giving them 8 choices of, do you want to learn more about us? Would you like to see our reviews? Or do you want to see our portfolio? Instead of giving all of those choices, we want to have everything presented up front and only give one choice.
Got it. That makes so much sense. Mm-hmm. I really appreciate the way that you're presenting this, because I feel like marketing can feel pretty scary. And when you sit down at your desk, just like you said, we have short attention spans. And if there's a lot of things on fire, sometimes just to get the time to work on your business instead of in your business and say, okay, what do I need to be doing? If you have a brand new venue owner, so brand new, never run any ads, never done anything, and they're sitting down and they're saying, okay, marketing, I want to run Google ads, or it's a avenue that they're considering, and they want to maybe DIY, maybe they'll call you in 6 months or a year, but they want to DIY today. What are some of the steps? How would you start that whole process if you're just brand new?
If you are brand new, whether you are a brand new business or you are a seasoned business, if you are brand new to ads, the process is going to look pretty much the same for you. So rest assured, you are right where you need to be. So first, you're going to want to do some keyword research and see what are people searching for on Google that is going to lead them to my website. Next, we want to think about what makes you special as a business owner. Is your venue really affordable? Is your venue really high-end and luxurious? Do you offer full service packages? What makes you as a venue owner and your venue, what makes it special? Why would someone want to work with you? Then we want to take that information and build out a landing page. Once you have your landing page, then you can go ahead and build out your ads and then link everything together. And then you can choose your budget too, and you can set everything live from there. There are, of course, more nuances in there than we could even have time to go into. But really, once you have the direction of who you're talking to and what your goal is for that person, then you can connect that flow from there.
Okay, amazing. I want to dive into just a couple of those pieces really quick. So you said, doing some of the keyword research. What are some tools that a venue owner could use to do that keyword research?
So the most beautiful thing here is you can actually make a Google ad account for free and use the keyword planning tool in there for free without even running ads. So if you just go to ads.google.com, make your account, and then if they prompt you to start ads, you can just select to go right to the dashboard. Then you can go into tools and keyword research. From there, you will type in the keyword that you makes the most sense for you. So likely it's going to be wedding venue. And then underneath, you'll see an option to choose locations. So then you just click that in there, select locations that you service, and then you can see exactly what people are searching for in your area and how much people are searching for it, what kind of volume it is, how much it would cost to run ads for that. There's a lot of great data in there that is totally free to access.
That's huge. I know there's tools out there that, cost like north of $100 a month sometimes. Obviously some cheaper ones. Moz, SEMrush, Ahrefs, some of these ones, but those are more for like if you're kind of an enterprise level person or an agency, kind of like yourself or whatever, like that you don't need that data is what you're saying. You can just use the stuff that's provided for free through Google.
Absolutely. If you are spending less than $1,500 a month on average, I would just use the free tools. It's not going to be worth the return on investment to spend the hundreds of dollars. Like some of these are $200, $300, $400 per month to use. So use what's free and available to you until you are at that level.
Totally. That's really good feedback to use, to hear. And then in terms of doing, the market research and kind of understanding more about what you want to be presenting, and like you said, luxurious or, whatever, is there an effective way, or maybe like, I don't know if it's necessarily a tool, but how do you compile that data? Is it just on a spreadsheet or on a Google Doc, or like what's the best, easiest way to compile all that?
Yeah, Google Doc or Simple Dimple Notebook. You just want to think about what you are known for and what kind of client is going to be booking with you. So when you go ahead and do that keyword research, you're going to see a lot of people searching affordable wedding venue. You'll also see a lot of people searching premium wedding venue, or high-end wedding venue or luxury wedding venue. So you want to determine, okay, which way am I going to market my business and who am I ultimately looking to attract here?
You'll hear people who talk about SEO talk about not wanting to use, like if you don't want to attract a affordable couple, you don't want to use terms like affordable. Directly for ads, we're talking about setting up a landing page. Is that as relevant in the conversation when we're talking about just like a landing page that's going to have ads directly run to it?
Yes, it's the same advice there, because with Google ads, you are paying for every time someone clicks on your ad. So if someone is doing research for an affordable wedding venue and they click on our ad, and we market ourselves as an affordable wedding venue, and they click on our ad, and then our landing page is speaking that we are a premium wedding venue and our services are more of a premium price, that customer is A, going to feel frustrated, but B, we're going to have wasted money on spending them to get them to our website.
Got it, because we pay for the click.
Correct.
So it's like a waste. Okay, makes total sense. Got it. When it comes to SEO, kind of the SEO side of things, and then the ads, is there a crossover or a relationship, or are the two pretty different?
No, they're pretty intertwined. So the way that Google ranks your ad, and this will affect, so the term for this is called your quality score. And this will affect how much your ads cost to run, how often your ads will be shown, is going to be dependent on the experience that someone has on your landing page. And your experience someone has on your landing page will be correlated to how well you are serving them after they click on your website or on your ad. So back to our conversation, if we run an ad that is connected to the keyword affordable wedding venue, and they come to our landing page and we are not an affordable wedding venue, that person has had a poor experience because we are not serving them for what they're looking for. So that is going to tell Google this website is not serving our customers, and your customers, if they're on Google, are also Google's customers. And so Google wants to keep their customers happy so that they don't leave their search engine. And so Google will then rank your ad lower, or have it cost more to show, or not show it at all. So it is important that we are in congruency with the keywords that we're choosing to put on our landing page and the ads that we're running.
Understood. And those are keywords that are in like the meta descriptions and the headings and the, so to your point, if you put, if you are a elegant or luxurious wedding venue and you put, it opens up and it says Atlanta affordable wedding venue, so how does Google understand that you aren't serving them well? Like how does that data get across? It's
from the actions that someone takes on your website. So if you have a lot of people come to your website and no one fills out your contact form, and you have told Google, my goal is for people to fill out my contact form, that signals to Google, maybe this isn't serving people the way that they want. Also, if people are coming to your website and then they're leaving immediately, that's another signal to Google that we are not serving people how they're looking to be served. As we know, it seems like the internet can read our brain these days. So there's a lot of signals in the way that we engage on a website that is going to signal to Google and say, this website is a great experience or it's not quite a great experience.
Got it. Got it. Dang. So there's a lot of pieces in here for sure. Like a lot of things to think about, not only on the financial side, but then on just the execution of these different pieces. I want to come back to something that you said. You talked about if you're not spending at least $1,500 per month, it maybe is not worth it to use some of the different tools. Is there a certain amount that you really should be spending? Otherwise, it's kind of a moot point, like a minimum ad spend, I guess.
If you live in a rural area or a smaller town, like a average size city, not like one of your bigger cities in the state, you could get away with spending $250 per month. I really recommend spending at least $500 per month, where you're really going to see like your best return is $1,000 to $1,500 per month. However, because in this industry, we do have a higher price point for our offers. We aren't selling like $100, $200 offers, right? We can afford to run ads at a lower cost per month and spend a little bit more for our leads because we are making that up on the back end. So if you're looking to kind of dabble in, you can get away with that like $500 per month mark.
Totally. So what I heard you say is because we're in the venue space, because our ticket price or our sale is 6, 7, 8, 9, 10,000. That is it's gonna make it worth it for us to spend a little bit more on marketing.
Yeah, well, absolutely yes. And also, if you are spending a lower per month with Google Ads, you are likely going to spend more per lead that comes through. But we can afford that. So if you have a little bit less to spend per month at this point, like as you are ramping things up, that is okay. You will see a higher cost per lead. So know that. But because you have a higher ticket price, that should be totally okay for you.
Got it. So it sounds like then there's a correlation between the cost per lead and maybe how soon or how new you are. Like a very experienced business might have a cost per lead that's lower because they have got their marketing dialed in, they've got a lot of things dialed in. And if you're new, so it doesn't, if you have a high cost per lead. And what is high? What is high? What is low?
And so I live in the Midwest. We see cost per leads that are like $3 to $20, which is silly goose prices. It's amazing. If you are in a bigger city, like I have clients in like Tampa, for example, you might see closer to $100 per lead, which if you've run Facebook ads, you might say, wow, that seems pretty high. However, these are very high intent people that are actively searching for your business. So when you have a good close rate on those, it's a no-brainer.
Yeah, if you spend $100 to get a $10,000 client, like again, let's do that deal all day long.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. In kind of the opposite vein, it sounds like there is a offer or there is a price point that it wouldn't make sense to run ads against. So if you had if you were selling a widget, it was like a low ticket, some sort of low ticket offer, maybe a PDF or a downloadable or something. It was like $10 or $20 or something like that. Am I accurate in saying that you wouldn't want to do Google Ads?
Yeah, Google Ads would be a tight space for you to be in. There are a lot of people that do it. I personally, as a marketer, my personal philosophy is that I like to have a lot of wiggle room, a high return on my ad spend, so that there is a lot of room for profitability in there. Other businesses are okay with running pretty tight on their margins because that works for them. So it'll be up to you and how you like to run your business. But for me, I always recommend to have an offer of at least $1,000 if you're running Google Ads.
Cool. That's an awesome kind of guide rail. Because yeah, maybe if we're doing something just really, really inexpensive, I don't know what a venues typically are in the higher, range. So that makes sense. Okay. So this is great. I want to wrap up today with just asking, when you are considering working with a client, you, Emily, right, in your business, what are some things that a venue can do to be prepared to work with an ads professional like yourself so that it isn't a mess, so it's a really good experience? Give me a breakdown of some things that venue owners can do to work better with ad professionals.
The biggest thing that for me, I'll just speak for myself as an ad professional, is I can only amplify what you already know about your business. So a lot of times people will come to me and they'll say, I don't know what my close rate is on a sale, or I don't really know who I'm speaking to. Like, I don't know who my ideal client is. And while I can kind of gently help you move through those things, my job is to amplify what is already working for you. So you need to know who you are speaking to. Who are we actually targeting with our ads? Who do we want to attract to your business? How much are you earning on average for each person that comes through your door? When someone comes to your door, out of 10 people that call you and inquire about your services, what percentage of those are actually going ahead and booking with you? What are your profit margins on that? You need to be clear on your numbers and who we're speaking to so that I can dial all of that up and amplify it for you.
Emily, that is insane. Like, that is such insane value to tell people, I feel like, because I think you said something really key. It's like you're there to amplify what's already working. I feel like sometimes in business, you feel like something's not working. So you go to ads or a paid strategy or whatever to like make it work. And it sounds like that's not a good recipe for success.
Yeah, that might work 1 in 10, but it's a very risky strategy. I don't tend to go for.
Fair enough. Fair enough. So if you're a venue owner listening to this and you're thinking about doing ads, go back to the drawing board before you're doing that and say, do I have a clear value proposition? Is there like a USP for my venue? Is there, do I know, am I elegant? Am I affordable? What's my close ratio? Like some of those different metrics that you were just asking for. And then call Emily and say, hey, we've got this figured out. We just need to do more of what's already working.
Yes. And if you, generally people come to me to run ads because they have a great presence in their community and people refer them, people know about them, but they're looking to take it to that next level. And they don't know, okay, how do I go on beyond word of mouth? How do I go beyond referrals? And that does take a little bit of tweak and strategy. So that is what I'm here to support you for. But you do need to have the basics of who you are and what you're doing.
That's awesome. Very cool. Emily, thank you so much for coming on today. This has been great. If people do want to reach out to you, what's the best way that they can get a hold of you?
You can either send me a DM over on Instagram at Emily Walleman, Walleman, or if you'd like to pop me over an email, Emily@Munde, MUNDE marketing.com. And I would love to have a chat and just see how I can support you.
Very cool. We'll get all that info and we'll put it in the description of the YouTube video and then the podcast links. And yeah, this was great, Emily. Thanks so much for coming on today.
Thank you. This was so fun.
All right. Awesome. Thank you.